Cooper Flagg and Johni Broome continue to compete for National Player of the Year honors, but what about the other three spots on the first-team All-American list? To help me break down, or actually just to give us his answers, we've got Isaac Trotter joining the show again. Trotter, before I get to who your picks are for the first five, I just want to know where you stand on the race for the Player of the Year. Are you in the Johni Broome camp, or are you in the Cooper Flagg camp?
Well, the oscillations with this award have been crazy, right? Johni Broome after Maui was the favorite, and then Cooper took the lead when Johni got a little bit of injury. Now Johni is back to the favorite. To be honest, I'm still rocking with Flagg. I know he's a little bit of the underdog right now, but if you look at KenPom's Player of the Year ratings, since 2011, they've been tracking this. Cooper Flagg is on pace for the highest KenPom Player of the Year single season rating in the history of the website. Like, it's crazy. Like, this is an all-time type of season. And in ACC play, this is his shooting splits. He's 54% from the field, 44% from three, and 85% at the free throw line. Make a few more free throws. We're talking about him in the 50-40-90 club, all for one of the elite cutters and one of the elite defensive players in college basketball. Like, for me, it's Flagg, just because I feel like it's going to be really hard for voters when they see that number on KenPom, when they see Duke's record, what it's going to be after they win the ACC tournament, like 31-3 heading into Selection Sunday. Like, it's going to be nuts. I feel like it's Flagg, but if anybody wants to pick Broome, I'm all for it. What an unbelievable player, too. It's so funny in college basketball. We were debating between Cooper Flagg, who's going to be a number one pick in the NBA draft and has been, a ballyhooed prospect for years, and Johni Broome, who started his career at Morehead State and was a 6'8", 200-pound center in high school. What a great sport.
All right, now remember this. There's only two players in the history of college basketball who, as freshmen, have won Player of the Year and then gone on to be the first pick in the NBA draft. That's Anthony Davis and Zion Williamson. So Cooper Flagg trying to join elite company. Let me say this about Johni Broome. I'm having Zach Edey PTSD. And what I mean by that is you've got this dominant college player who everybody's just saying, oh, he's not a great pro prospect. He's not a great pro prospect. And then it's like, all right, let's make sure we have this one right. Let's really watch this tape and watch the evolution of this Auburn big man, not just, since Morehead State, but from last year to this year. I'm not saying he's going to be the 9th pick in the draft. I'm not saying he's Zach Edey, but I am saying that I think that NBA scouts are starting to pay more and more attention just because of the vast production and the consistency of that production, along with the growth in terms of the way he's doing it. So Johni Broome just helping himself across the board. Trotter, let's talk about the rest of that list. Those two guys are locks. Who do you have for your last three spots?
Yeah, it's between four guys for me right now. John Tonje, Cam Jones from Marquette, Braden Smith from Purdue, and then Walter Clayton from Florida. Those would be like the four that I'm kind of debating between. And it's wild how John Tonje has started to really emerge as a guy that I'm pretty close to making him a lock. I looked this up. He is 3 layups and 2 free throws away from a 50-40-90 splits in Big Ten play, which is, if you ask a lot of stats, one of the best scouted leagues in the country. But Walter Clayton's been phenomenal this year, too, for Florida, completely revamping, his ability as a playmaker. Zion pulling leaves, and Clayton's taken over as kind of that lead guard for them. His assist rate has ballooned up to 23%. Like, he's been phenomenal from 3-point range. Florida's awesome. Like, they're a tier 1 national title contender as well. So this race for the last 3 spots is going to be brutal, because one of these guys who's going to be a second-team All-American would probably be a first-team All-American in any other year.
Let me make this point about John Tonje. In this new era of roster construction and NIL and the transfer portal, there's a variety of players in college basketball who came out of the portal and got 7-figure contracts. John Tonje, I don't know if he's first-team All-American. He probably is. What I will tell you is that he's the best value in college basketball. I don't know what he's making this year, but I know it's not enough. He came in did not get a whole lot of fanfare on that commitment. He's a 6-year college player, and what he is doing in terms of bang for the buck is absolutely off the charts. So credit to him for raising the bar and exceeding everyone's expectations. And you know what? The money's going to be on the other end of it, because he, too, is getting some NBA attention. But Trotter, you forgot somebody, my man. You know I love you. You know I respect your mind for this, but Mark Sears. Granted, he wasn't there in the first couple months of the season. He came in. We expected him to be the best guard in the country. He just wasn't that for the first couple of months. But the last 6 games, 24 points and 6 assists per game, including going over 30 in back-to-back games. And that facial expression, that tells you all he needs to know. He is figuring it out. He is playing his best basketball. Alabama plays at the highest tempo in the sport. He is flourishing in the open floor, putting up points, creating for others, and finally being the guard that we expected him to be. So last word on this, what say you about Mark Sears?
Who are you taking off? Who do you want to take off this list? Braden Smith has been terrific as well this year. I docked Sears just a tad because of the defense. That would be my one little pushback. But again, I mean, let's not pick nits, right? Like, Mark Sears is unbelievable, probably one of the top 8 to 10 players in college basketball. If you have him as a first-team All-American, I'm not arguing with you, but I challenge you, like, take one of those guys off. Go tell Cam Jones he's not a first-team All-American. Go tell Braden Smith or Walter Clayton he's not a first-team All-American. It's tough. This year is brutal.
I can't now, but I may in 6 weeks. So we'll just see how this one continues to trend. All right, for more of Isaac's work, you can head on over to 247sports.com. He always has us covered with all the latest trends, and his knowledge is impeccable. Of course, we also have the wall-to-wall team coverage, recruiting rankings, and transfer portal updates.